I think it's highly inappropriate that a United States Supreme Court judge gets involved in a political campaign, frankly. I think it's a disgrace to the court, and I think she should apologize to the court. Democratic Senators Dick Durbin, Sheldon Whitehouse, and Chris Murphy also spoke out against Ginsburg's statements, and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell called her comments totally inappropriate. Justice Ginsburg also scolded Senate Republicans for not moving to hold hearings on Judge Merrick Garland. That's President Obama's Supreme Court nominee to replace Antonin Scalia, who died in February. Ginsburg said she's hoping another Democrat joins the court so she could vote in the majority more often.
Joining us now with more, Jonathan Turley, constitutional law attorney and professor at George Washington University Law School. Great to see you, Professor. So what did you make of her comments?
Well, they were thoughtless, but more importantly, I think they were facially unethical. Canon 5 of the Judicial Code says that judges cannot make statements of this kind in opposition to political candidates. Now, the way these justices get around that is they claim that those rules of ethics only apply to lesser jurists. And this may come as a surprise to most Americans, but the 9 justices claim that the rules of ethics cannot be enforced against them, that they look at those rules voluntarily and decide how they will apply to themselves. And as you might imagine, the result is that they often are the judges of their own case and find themselves entirely innocent.
This is clearly intentional. She made the remarks repeatedly to 3 different outlets going on about how if he wins, it reminds her of something her husband used to say, quote, "Now it's time for us to move to New Zealand." I mean, it's very clear her opposition to him. And Trump on this issue, you tell me, he's entirely right. She was out of line.
He is right. And what she did is not just wrong ethically, it undermines the integrity of the Supreme Court. It's a very serious blow to that court. The Supreme Court has many flaws, but one of its great tenets is this impartiality and this separation from politics. And what Justice Ginsburg did was undermine that tradition.
So what was she doing? Why? I mean, do you think people vote based on what Ruth Bader Ginsburg thinks? Why would she do this?
Well, unfortunately, I think that many of these justices have become enthralled with what I call the age of the celebrity justice. They're increasingly going to audiences. They're enjoying this limelight. And in my view, it's a terrible trend. I preferred the old model where justices spoke entirely through their opinions. But I think you see this sort of corrosive effect on the judgment of justices in this interview. But many of these justices have committed unethical acts in the past. A majority of them have committed acts that would have been serious matters for lower judges, but they consider themselves beyond the rules of ethics, at least in terms of enforceability.